Imagine a world where the pace of life is so slow that leaves drifting in the breeze might actually overtake you. A place where the hustle and bustle we humans obsess over is replaced by a gentle sway, a soft rustle of rainforest leaves, and the patient blink of big, curious eyes. Now picture an animal so perfectly adapted to this unhurried rhythm that its very survival depends on being almost invisible in plain sight. This is the sloth, a creature that seems to live in its own time zone, where minutes stretch into hours and every movement feels like a meditative dance. If you've ever been told you're slow, well, you might just be a little bit like one of nature's most fascinating creatures. And trust me, by the time we're done here, you'll see why being slow is not a flaw. It's a superpower. Before we dive deep into the treetops of Central and South America, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tap the bell icon so you never miss an episode, and give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps us bring you more amazing animal stories from around the world. Sloths have been around for millions of years, but they've changed very little in that time. In fact, if you could go back tens of thousands of years, you'd find their ancient relatives, the giant ground sloths, wandering the earth. These massive creatures could grow to the size of elephants, with claws the length of your forearm. But today's sloths are much smaller, lighter, and far better suited to the treetop lifestyle. They come in two main categories, the two-toed sloths and the three-toed sloths, though the names are slightly misleading. Both types have 3 toes on their hind limbs. It's actually the number of fingers on their front limbs that gives them their name. They spend nearly their entire lives hanging upside down, moving slowly along the branches, feeding, resting, and even giving birth without ever touching the ground. Their long, curved claws, sometimes up to 4 inches, act like natural climbing hooks, allowing them to stay suspended for hours without any muscular effort. The reason for their slow lifestyle lies in their biology. Sloths are herbivores that primarily feed on leaves, which are low in nutrients and take a long time to digest. Their multi-chambered stomachs and incredibly slow metabolism, about half that of most mammals, mean that they get very little energy from their food. This energy budget forces them to move slowly, conserving every bit they can. In fact, sloths can take up to a month to fully digest a single meal. But there's an advantage to this sluggish pace. Predators like harpy eagles and jaguars often rely on movement to spot prey. By moving so slowly, sloths become nearly invisible among the foliage, their fur blending perfectly with the green and brown hues of the rainforest canopy. Speaking of their fur, it's not just a coat to keep them warm. Sloth fur is actually its own tiny ecosystem. Thanks to its unique grooves and texture, algae grow on it, giving some sloths a greenish tint that helps them camouflage even better. This algae also provides nutrients when sloths groom themselves, and their fur houses tiny moths, beetles, and other insects that depend entirely on the sloth for survival. In return, the moths contribute to the health of the algae, creating one of nature's most unusual symbiotic relationships. It's like the sloth carries an entire miniature rainforest on its back. Now, you might think a slow animal would be helpless, but sloths have some surprising skills. On land, they're undeniably awkward, dragging themselves along with great effort, moving at about 0.24 kilometers per hour. But in water, they're graceful swimmers, using their long arms to paddle efficiently. They can even hold their breath for up to 40 minutes by slowing their heart rate dramatically, a trick that would make even dolphins jealous. This swimming ability helps them cross rivers or escape predators when necessary, and it's one of the few times you'll see them move faster than a casual crawl. Perhaps one of the most peculiar aspects of sloth behavior is their bathroom routine. Sloths descend from the trees to relieve themselves only about once a week. This is the most dangerous part of their lives, as they become vulnerable to predators on the ground. No one is entirely sure why they take this risk, but some scientists believe it's linked to the life cycle of the moths in their fur, which lay eggs in the sloth's droppings. Others suggest it's a way to fertilize the trees they depend on. Either way, it's a ritual as mysterious as it is risky. Sloths also have some fascinating physical traits. Three-toed sloths, for example, have extra neck vertebrae, allowing them to turn their heads up to 270 degrees. This gives them a wide field of vision without needing to move their bodies. Again, perfect for avoiding detection. Their muscles are specially adapted to resist fatigue, and their grip strength is so strong that sloths have been found still clinging to branches even after death. They are, in every sense, built for a life in the trees. Their reproduction is equally slow-paced. Sloths reach sexual maturity at about 3 to 5 years of age, and mothers usually give birth to a single baby after a gestation period of 6 months for three-toed sloths or up to a year for two-toed sloths. The baby clings to its mother's belly for several months, learning how to navigate the canopy before venturing out on its own. This strong maternal bond is crucial for the young sloth's survival, as the rainforest can be an unforgiving place for a creature that moves so slowly. But slow doesn't mean simple. Sloths are surprisingly strong for their size, capable of holding their entire body weight with just one limb. They can survive falls from great heights, sometimes as much as 30 meters, without injury. Their hearts beat at less than half the rate of most mammals, and they can survive on the bare minimum of food and water. These adaptations have allowed them to thrive in their niche for millions of years. Unfortunately, modern challenges are threatening their survival. Deforestation in Central and South America is destroying the rainforests they call home. Roads and urban development cut through their territories, forcing them to cross dangerous open spaces where they are vulnerable to cars, dogs, and other threats. Climate change also poses a risk, altering the delicate ecosystems they rely on. Several species, such as the pygmy three-toed sloth found only on a tiny island off the coast of Panama, are critically endangered. Conservation efforts are underway, with organizations working to protect sloth habitats, rescue injured animals, and educate the public about their importance. Sanctuaries in Costa Rica and other countries rehabilitate sloths that have been orphaned or hurt, often due to human activity. Some projects even build sloth bridges, ropes strung between trees over roads, to give them a safe way to cross. Watching a sloth in the wild is an unforgettable experience. At first, you might not even notice it. Then you'll see the slow turn of a head, the gradual lift of an arm, and you realize you're witnessing a creature perfectly in tune with its environment. There's a certain peace in watching them, a reminder that life doesn't always have to be about rushing from one thing to the next. Maybe we could all learn something from them. Subscribe for more videos.